Well, hey guys, today I'm going to be heading west on the Can-Am Spyder for a few days of wind therapy and taking in some Virginia back roads. Along the way, I wanted to share some odd facts about my home state, so I hope you find it entertaining and informative. Well, good morning. We are westbound. We're currently on US 460 heading northwest. Where are we going exactly? I don't know. I got some general idea, but I haven't really decided yet. I guess I need to speed up to the speed limit. This roadway goes from 35, 25, 45, 55, and I'm going to make sure you're not doing the wrong speed. Anyway. Weather for the next couple of days is going to be in the 80s here in Virginia, and I've been watching the weather forecast for some time, waiting for some decent weather to take the Spyder out. And Miriam was eagerly awaiting my departure so she could have some quiet time around the house. I spend more time around the house than she does, so she never has any time to herself. So I'm always present, and so I give her a little bit of me time. We've only been on the road now for a little over an hour, and I already noticed the first technical malfunction in my look-back camera, which used to be right here until I took it off a few moments ago. As I was getting ready to shoot this clip, I noticed that I could not get the camera to power up. So I brought a spare, but I'm going to have to dig it out here later. And I've also recently taken to using my new cell phone as a blogging camera. And one of the nice benefits to the cell phone, it has multiple lens capability, and so I can go zoom in, zoom out, and then when I'm finished I can send the clip straight to the cloud, which saves me having to back it up manually. So what I do know so far is we're going to take 460 up to a little town called Wakefield, then make a left turn on US 40. It's the way to get out of here. I want to take some roads I've never been on before. We have that part of our plan today, and ultimately we're headed for the mountains of Virginia. Spend the next couple of days. And happy to have you guys with us. So we're in the town of Wakefield, Virginia, up on US 460. And one of the landmarks that's been here forever, the Virginia Diner right up here on the left. It is a classic southern eatery. It's been a while since I've been in there because they have a buffet generally for lunch, and I'm too tempted, so I don't go to buffets. But food there is good. Country ham, chicken, fresh vegetables. It's a really nice place. I remember going there as a small kid back in the day. This was our route as we would go up to the western part of the state and visit family. So it's grown quite a bit. One of the other things here in Wakefield that brings back some memories is the Wakefield Airport. Basically, it's a strip with a building that you can go in, make phone calls, get out of the weather, that sort of thing. They sell gas. But it's right here, right off the side of the highway. We used to use it as one of our satellite airports for training back in the day. Well, we got the look-back camera running. Appears to be something as simple as a dead battery. I charged everything up a couple days ago in preparation for the trip, and I may have left the DJI Action camera on and ran the battery down. I still have to fill up the SD card. We'll see. I must share with you a humorous story that occurred yesterday. It has nothing to do with travel or Can-Am Spyder, but it's hilarious. Especially, well, it would have been better if I'd actually had it on video or you were actually there. So Miriam has a routine where she makes a smoothie for lunch, and I was heating up some coffee, and I was aware of the smell of smoke in the kitchen. And it wasn't like a frying pan overheating, it was electrical or plastic or something like that. And I look over to the blender, or actually it's a Vitamix, which is basically it's a food processor slash blender anyway. Those of you who know, you know. And smoke was coming out of the bottom of this device. A dark, acrid black smoke. And I don't use that device, so I'm not really sure how to turn it on, turn it off. So I turn around and see that it's running and its smoke is pouring out of it. And I yell for Miriam as I'm walking over towards it, thinking I'm going to need to just unplug this. And before I can unplug it, it explodes. The base of the container with the smoothie mix just explodes like a science fiction movie. This green congealed mass is all over the wall, all over the kitchen, all over me, and we unplugged it and it was still smoking terribly, so and we picked up the carafe portion, I guess that's what you call it, and the bottom fell out and the goo went everywhere. Like I said, it was like a cheap science fiction movie. So Miriam's had it for many, many years. She got her money's worth, and I said I could probably fix it. She looks at me and goes, "No, throw it in the trash can." So, I own a dozen video cameras. Did I have one in the kitchen yesterday? No, I didn't think anything memorable was going to occur. But that was, in retrospect, absolutely hilarious. And we're crossing the intersection. We're crossing US 1, Historic Route 1, Maine to Key West. Actually at the Canadian border. We stopped here back in the fall and had a bite to eat. So they got another restaurant over there, new. Not sure what that is, maybe barbecue. Anyway, the Dairy Freeze serves up a pretty good little burger. And the reason I bring up US 1, it is the 100th anniversary of the U.S. highway system, US 1, US 66, US 50, all my favorite routes. There's a fragment ahead. Either that or a guy's handing out box lunches. I'm not really sure what that symbol means, but I'm always waiting for the box lunches, but no lunch so far. Anyway, stopped at the convenience store, got a bottle of water. The last hour or so during the ride, just feeling a little lack of energy. And, I think I slept fairly well last night. But I also realized that people who are in our age group, many of us suffer from dehydration on a daily basis. Just not getting enough real fluids and electrolytes to keep the body running. Coffee is not an electrolyte mix, but I do love it. And thinking about what I've had today, I've had 2.5 cups of coffee and not much else. So added the electrolyte powder mix, which the brand name of Elements, that is not a sponsored placement. We paid for it. It's not cheap, but it's good. Miriam had some at the house, and I tried it a few months ago and really thought that really had an effect. So added the powdered element mix to my bottle of water and gobbled the whole thing down in short order. It's like, I can already feel the energy coming back. I must have passed by this abandoned gas station and convenience store dozens and dozens of times. Today I thought I would stop and get some photographs. Okay. This is US 15 from Farmville up to US 250, which goes into across Afton Mountain and across the Blue Ridge Parkway. into Waynesboro. It's probably where we're going to end up tonight. It's already coming up on 2. And we got a couple more hours of riding to do. So we'll see. And the weather forecast for today is partly cloudy and temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Currently showing 84 degrees. Quite comfortable. And the sun was a bit bright earlier, but now it's gotten a little bit of overcast, so it's calmed down some. And you know, Virginia is known for many things. Its history, its beaches, the mountains, the fall foliage, and the cuisine. But what you won't find in most history books are a couple of very odd facts about Virginia. Did you know that camels and horses first evolved and lived in the Americas? Yep, they were here long before they migrated across the land bridge and ended up in Asia and other parts of the world before dying off in the Americas. The horse was reintroduced by the Spanish to the Americas, but this was really their home originally. And yes, camels and prehistoric horses did roam the area of what is now Virginia. And bison. Did you know that in the 1700s, bison actually roamed free throughout central Virginia? I think the last wild bison was in central Virginia in about 1730. We are in the Central Virginia seismic zone. This area is prone to earthquakes. That's right, Virginia has earthquakes on an average of about 3 per year. Typically they don't get above 4.5 on the Richter scale, but we get quite a few earthquakes. The largest earthquake in recent history occurred in August of 2011. It was a 5.8 and was felt as far away as Virginia Beach. That day I was actually on the road driving, and Miriam had called me. She was at work and they had experienced the earthquake at her office, and I went on to explain that because I was not aware of the seismic zone at the time, and I told her that geologically impossible for Virginia Beach to have an earthquake. But the earthquake actually occurred up in an area where it is possible, and the vibrations were felt in Virginia Beach. So, Miriam, I was wrong. Another thing Virginia is known for is its gold mining. In the early 1800s, Virginia was the 3rd largest U.S. producer of gold in the United States. There is a band of gold that runs from about Washington, D.C., southwest, through central Virginia. At the peak, there were over 300 active mines in the region, pretty much because of a lot of political reasons and the other more pure gold deposits found elsewhere in the country and the world. Mining pretty much stopped about 1948, but geologists tell us there's plenty of gold still left in the area. And surprisingly enough, the gold mining seems to pass the gold-rich region seems to pass right through the area of the Central Virginia seismic zone. So maybe they have something to do with each other. Who knows? Well, it's been a pretty good day for a ride. I think what I'm going to do is grab a room up ahead in Waynesboro, my normal destination for trips up in this part of the state, and then decide what's on the agenda for tomorrow. We've still got a couple more days up here. According to the odometer, we will have done 260 miles for today's ride. Not bad. And looking forward to a hot shower and a good meal. And in the meantime, guys, thanks for tagging along.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more of our travel-related content, just check out the rest of our channels. And don't forget to subscribe.
We don't know where we're going, we just want to get gone.